Now that we understand how to generate a simple React app, let's understand the application's folder structure. At the root level, as you can see, we have 3 folders and 4 files to begin with. So let's start with the file package.json. So as you can see, we are using the React and React DOM versions 18, and they are both listed as a dependencies. Both these libraries are necessary to create your React application. So we also have a few scripts, as you can see over here. These are actually required for you to be able to run the application, build the application, or even test for that matter. We then also have configurations which are made on based of ESLint. On the testing side, we use the jest, which also happens to be one of the dependencies added. So finally, we have the list of compatible browsers. As you can see, there are a few browsers named in over here, which our React application will be compatible with. So this particular file that you see will contain a list of dependencies or the libraries that we are going to be installed whenever any certain situations or certain task that could be done using the packages that are existing in the market. So next we have package lock.json. So this file is actually a subset of the file package.json. So package.json will actually give you those files which are at the parent level, but package lock.json gives you one whole set of dependencies or interdependencies between one particular parent package. So this file and even the package.json file, we are not going to be looking much deeper, as this is generally for the packages that we are going to be installing, nothing much. Then you also have a git ignore file. So git ignore files come in handy when you have large set of files which you would want to not push into your git repositories. So this git ignore file is generated as we run the npx create react app. So next we also have a readme file. So this readme file is a template which React creates it in the first time that we ran the create react app command. So as you can see, it gives you a brief intro about how do you go about creating or running, testing, and also building the application. The most important file that we have over here is your node underscore modules. So this node underscore modules is all the packages that are being in over here. Basically, this folder consists of all the dependencies which will be installed as you run the create react app command. So next folder that you see is your public folder. So in the public folder, as you can see, we have PNGs, we also have a manifest.json and also robots.txt. Robots.txt is something that comes in handy when you are going about crawling or doing something on search engine. And then we also have the logos that we've been using. So as you could see over here, we had this logo that was running, so that came out from the this particular folder. And also a fav icon that you can see on the top in the title bar, that came from here. Okay, one of the most important folders that you will be seeing over here is your index.html, and this folder is, or this file, sorry, this file is one of the most important files where your React actually begins from. So as you can see, there is a lot of metadata information that is being given here in your header, so we'll skip that all for now. As you can see, there's a title which is given, and then most important line is this, which is div and id given as root. Okay, so the index.html file is the only HTML file you're going to have in your entire application. So we are focusing on building a single page application. So React is a single page application builder. So you will see only one index.html file being there. So Based on this, your UI might dynamically change in the browser. So it depends on what is being served to your index.html. Okay, we call this div element as the root DOM node because everything inside it will be managed by React. For the Hello World application, the app component is rendered inside the root DOM node. So as you can see, this is the index.html, and if you go about expanding the src, you have a file called index.js. So as you can see over here, you have the root that is being passed. So the div that we have over here, which takes id as root, is your actually DOM root node. So that is being passed to your index.js. So the app component that you see over here, which we had this particular piece of code written, the hello world, is being rendered in that fashion. Okay. So apart from that, you have a few set of files like app.js or app.css. So as you all know, this particular file is helpful when you want to style things which is within the app.js. So for a particular JS file, it is good to have a particular .css files. So after that, you also have app.test.js, report web vitals, setup test.js. As of now, as a beginner perspective, I would recommend you to not put in your time on those files. What is really important as of now is the starting point, which is your index.html, which has an ID called, sorry, which has a div called div with an ID called root. Okay, this is your root DOM node, which is being passed or which is being called in your index.html, and this which helps you in rendering your components. Okay, so the component that you are giving it to render is your app component. So what do we have in app component? We have the hello world piece of code. Okay, so from index.html you have it to index.js, from index.js you have it to app.js. So this is how you can understand that the DOM is actually helping, or the virtual DOM exactly is helping the piece of code that is written in one component to be rendered in your browser.